Hi everybody, this is Riyad from Love Amplified. How reliant are you on yourself? How much do you trust the decisions you make? You see, a lot has to do with how you've been brought up, how we bring up our kids. Very often, the way we bring up children and the way our education educates young children in particular is we spoon feed them. We do things for them. As parents, we do things for our children, things that they could possibly learn to do themselves. And in this way, we disempower them, and they grow up to be disempowered adults. They grow up to be adults who are not self-reliant. And so often as a coach, I come across people in our workshops, people I coach, who lack an innate trust in themselves, who do not trust their abilities, their decisions, their choices. And this stems from childhood, stems from their inability to learn how to do things for themselves and trust that what they're doing is the right thing to do. So tapping into their own internal resources, tapping into their intuition, tapping into their gut feel, into their hearts, is very necessary, especially in moments like these that we are experiencing, where there's so much of conflicting information out there. There's so many different viewpoints and opinions, and it's hard to know which one you can trust. It's hard to know what is the truth. And this is when you have to become more self-reliant. You have to learn how to test it for yourself. And I don't mean externally, I mean internally. You have to be able to tune in and feel your way through this. So if you have not been given the skill early on, if you've not intuitively learned how to do this, then you literally look to other people for direction, for advice. As a coach, I'm constantly faced with clients who ask or tell me what to do and I'll do it. What choice should I make? What should my decision be? And as a coach, you never do that. You never give somebody an answer, because that in itself is disempowering to them. They have to, and you have to, arrive at a decision, a choice, an answer by yourself, taking into account all the information, weighing up all of this input. You have to process it. You have to tune in. You have to use your own experience. You have to have trust in yourself. You have to have faith in your own ability to arrive at the right choice, the right decision, the right answer for you. And if you've not been exposed to this early on in your life, then it is important that you start to look at it for yourself and ask those questions. As, okay, so everything was done for me growing up. You know, I was cold and miraculously a jersey appeared. I was hungry and miraculously there was a plate of food in front of me. I seldom even needed to ask for it. And as parents, we disempower our kids that way. You know, on our coaching course, one of the things we talk about is, in language, is make a request and it will change your world. So you have to become empowered to ask for what you want, but you have to become empowered to also rely on yourself, to rely on your own processing power, but more so from your heart than from your head. I think your head can be easily influenced. Your head can be easily persuaded. And yes, people talk about evidence-based and science-based and all of that. We've seen how all of that can be manipulated. So there's nothing plain cut at the moment. There's nothing that is 100% clear. And in this, we've still got to learn how to navigate our way through all of this stuff. And this is when you have to cultivate the ability to trust yourself, to begin to rely on yourself, to find your way through all of this. And it might be completely different from the person standing next to you. But in this, there is a way, there always is. And it must be your way, not anybody else's. When somebody is dispensing advice, they are speaking from their perspective. It might not be the exact same perspective you have. So start to cultivate your ability to trust yourself, to trust your choices, to go inward, to check in with yourself on a regular basis, and to come up with your way, not anybody else's, your way. And then trust that. And don't get so locked into it that you can't change, because then it defeats the whole point. So be fluid, but also become skillful at learning how to navigate and using your feelings, your emotions, which always tell you where you are in relation to where you want to get to. It tells you where you are in relation to who you want to be. If you're feeling negative emotions, you're out of alignment with where you are and where you want to get to. If you're feeling great, joyous, loving, then more than likely you are in alignment. So how are you feeling about everything that's happening? And yes, if you're anything like me, you're a yo-yo at the moment. One day you're up and the next day you don't know what the hell's going on. And then you're confused, and then you're irritated, and then you're frustrated, and then you're angry, and then you're hopeful. But keep checking in. Cool. Thank you, everybody. Chat to you tomorrow. Ciao.